Across the modern landscape, we see a distinct shift in male behavior, a widespread decline in aggression, lower self-confidence, and heightened emotional sensitivity. When you track these symptoms back to their source, you find that 90% of today's young men are experiencing a generational biological deficit. At the center of this collapse is testosterone. This hormone acts as the chemical architect of the male body, dictating the integrity of your bones, the growth of muscle tissue, and the resilience for mental discipline. This chart highlights the severity of the shift. While the ancestral baseline peaked throughout a man's 20s, our modern trajectory dives right at the 20-year mark. Current standards falsely normalize this. Blood levels between 300 and 500 are labeled healthy, a fraction of historical norms, accepting hormonal poverty as baseline. Living with this deficit means functioning with a permanent cap on your physical and mental potential. You are attempting to navigate life with an internal system that is structurally incapable of reaching peak performance. Relying solely on a blood test to measure this is difficult because your levels fluctuate constantly throughout the day. A single clinic visit only captures a momentary snapshot of a complex biological story. You can find a more accurate reading in your physical performance. A lack of morning erections, for instance, is a direct indicator of poor blood circulation and high systemic stress. If you are experiencing muscle loss, unexplained fatigue, or brittle bones, it means your biological framework is losing its primary chemical support. These aren't isolated health complaints or minor deficiencies. They are clear, interconnected signals that your hormone production has stalled and requires a deliberate, aggressive intervention to restart the engine. Correcting the system requires an immediate shift in the raw materials you consume. To restart production, you must supply the specific chemical building blocks the body uses to synthesize hormones. High-quality proteins like eggs, chicken, and paneer are essential. Protein is the primary driver for tissue repair and direct testosterone synthesis. Without it, your body lacks the tools to maintain muscle mass or burn fat efficiently. Healthy fats from ghee, nuts, and seeds are equally important. These are the specific fatty acids the body uses to manufacture hormones and maintain clear cognitive function. Zinc is the primary ignition fuel for testosterone, yet 80% of young men are deficient, stalling this engine. You must also defend against cortisol, a stress hormone that shuts down production. Magnesium acts as your shield, repelling cortisol to protect your hormone levels. No amount of discipline can overcome a lack of these raw materials. If you don't supply the body with the specific chemical inputs it requires, it simply cannot produce the energy you're asking of it. Once fueled, you must trigger an adaptation response. The body only increases hormone production when facing extreme physical demand, specifically through heavy resistance training. Training your legs is the most effective way to trigger this. Moving heavy weights with your largest muscle groups creates a systemic shock that forces the body to release a massive surge of natural testosterone. You can further shock the system with high-intensity interval training. This involves sprinting at your absolute maximum capacity for 30 seconds, followed by rest. Repeating this cycle 8 to 10 times signals a survival threat to the nervous system. The body responds by rapidly increasing hormone production to ensure you can survive the perceived physical exertion. However, the actual synthesis of these hormones only happens during recovery. 7 to 8 hours of deep sleep is mandatory. It's the only window your body has to finalize chemical repairs and lock in your new baseline. To accelerate the process, natural herbal catalysts like safed muesli and asarkata can be used to improve bone density and stamina. These serve as a final support system for your physical and hormonal health. Testosterone dictates the parameters of your energy, your focus, and your physical strength. By providing the correct chemical inputs and forcing physical adaptation, you stop the decline and restore your body to its peak evolutionary capacity.